Ladies and Jimbo men, welcome back to the best show on YouTube, where we open incredibly cool knives. Today I have an awesome big white box in front of me, but it doesn't say Bark River Knives, although it looks the same. This white knives produced by Bramco Containers. It has a big Viking on it, and that is because it is the first D.Tope mid-tech from Knives Ship Free. They sent me a bunch of cool stickers to pass along to my buddy Cody, who I actually bought this knife for. He traded me one, and I needed to get him something to trade back, and I knew he wanted one of these, so I grabbed one in a cool configuration that I knew he would like. Knives Ship Free is now making all of these killer stickers. They're so cool. You know, a bunch of classic logos that Heineken, Jurassic Park, whatever, NASA, and they just replaced their thing. I think it's really cool. I've got one of the Krispy Kreme ones on my coffee mug already, but these are all going to be going to my buddy Cody, and so will this, the D.Tope Bulldog, which is already in my pocket. You'll notice that it comes in a black sheath. This is really cool, actually. All of the Bark River knives come in white tissue paper, but this came in this really thick, black, murdered out tissue paper. And, I've been a member of the Tope Nation Facebook group. That's D.Tope's Facebook group, if you haven't figured that out yet. Mr. Tope is a custom knife maker. He's actually located in the New Sheffield region of Michigan, which I learned on the Behind the Blade podcast, which is it's a relatively new podcast. I'm a huge podcast guy, so to find out that there was a Behind the Blade podcast, which is all about knives and the knife industry and knife history and all this other cool stuff, was really awesome. It's put on by Jim Stewart. You probably know him if you're a fan of my channel. Jim Stewart is the son of Mike Stewart. He's the production manager over at Bark River Knives, and he basically runs things. If you go over to the Knives Ship Free YouTube page, they will have a whole bunch of what's going on this week at Bark River Knives, and Jim is the guy who gives those tours also of the Bark River Knives factory. But he's doing this cool podcast. He talked about D.Tope a little bit, and it was pretty funny that this guy just lived in the area and started making knives, and it happens to be an area where people, where a ton of knife history comes from. I'll let you go ahead and listen to the podcast yourself to catch up on that, because we're here to talk about this knife in particular. It has a complete overall length of 7 inches, and I think it was just under 3.5, the sharpened length. It was like 3.46. Don't quote me on it. It comes with a really cool sheath. The reason why also I wanted to talk about that Behind the Blade podcast, so there's Jim Stewart telling us all this cool knowledge. We all know him. Know him, love him, he's a great guy. There's this other guy, Matt Martin, his co-host, who is the owner, main blade maker, what have you, of Vehement Knives. I've been learning this over the past few weeks, months. A lot of the guys in my Facebook group really dig those Vehement Knives, and I've been coming to dig them myself. I might have to get one in the future if the price is right, If I can see one and snag one, or maybe I'll even one day be able to put in an order with him, but at the moment, money's kind of tight. But anyway, Matt Martin, really cool guy, also co-host to Jim on the Behind the Blade podcast. His wife came up with this sheath design. She does all of these sheath custom leather work for Vehement Knives for him, and she helped Dan put together this really cool sheath for the Bulldog. Now, as you can see, I'm struggling here, which I've been struggling. This came a little tight. Okay, that came a little tight. I know you guys love to see me struggle, though. It's not a slip joint video where I'm breaking my nails on a nick. but I'm struggling on the leather. It came super tight here. Obviously, take a heat gun to that, a little Obenovs, stretch it out a little bit. This is going to wear in, it's leather. But that just means it'll keep a super nice retention. Now, this also came attached to some bolts here. You can see they're little hex nuts. I just busted out this little hex tool to disattach this thing. And this rode like just like that. Boom. So you have some really nice, not only are these belt loops, boom, but they're also MOLLE attachable. So you can throw it on a bag, you can throw it on your belt, you can throw it on whatever. And then you can just real quick take your hex to it, pop it off, and now you got your own pocket sheath. And I gotta say, it does slip really nicely into the pocket. I'm exaggerating its look here. I don't think anybody who's carrying around a fixed blade every day really cares what it looks like, the impression. But, you know, it kind of does look more like a blade than some other knives, the other pocket sheets that I have from Knife Ship Free. I'll grab those right now. I got one right here. This is the Allegheny. You'll see that this is probably a relatively similar sized knife. Let's see here. Yeah, this is exactly 7 inches also, this knife. So, same length. You'll notice that the Bulldog is probably way too big. Yeah. Actually, I don't know. Maybe that'll fit in there. We're cutting it pretty close. So I'm not sure if this will fit in this sheath, but it probably won't. You know, you don't want to push it. But anyway, you'll see this. This is the Knife Ship Free. This is the featherweight Hunter right here, Bark River. And you throw that in the pocket. You'll notice that it's a lot flatter. Not really sure what exactly this is, but kind of doesn't look like a knife. I don't know if that, that doesn't matter to me. It probably doesn't matter to most people, but just something to consider. That when you have this in your pocket, it kind of looks like a knife. Now, to my buddy Cody out in Arizona, who can carry around his dang Bark River Grizzly on his hip everywhere he goes and not have to worry about it, that's not a big problem. But for me over here in, let's just call it pussy-ass Washington, people would kind of freak. So, but still, this doesn't really, it still doesn't even look all that much like a thing. It's nice and secure with the loop. You can actually pop off the, you can pop off that little button in your pocket and pull it out, kind of just like a Knife Ship Free sheath. And you can probably, let's see, pop it right back in here. Boom. It's nice. Once this wears in, I'm sure you'll be able to snap it in real nice. Boom. So, take that how you want. This guy's 156 on the spine, which, that's not too thick. I've come to get used to some pretty thick knives. Let's take, for example, sorry guys. The full Bravo is 216, I believe, compared to that. So you're definitely slimming down way there. But compared to some other EDC knives that I have, it is on the slightly thicker side. Let's compare it to that featherweight, which is almost an unfair comparison because it was built to be light and thin. But I believe it's like 0.08 behind the spine. And man, this thing really does disappear in your pocket. But hey man, it certainly doesn't feel the same in the hand, man. I mean, this is a big, beefy, chunky thing, hunk of CPM 3V. I love that they used 3V on it. That was a great choice for the, I think a small 3V blade was a very smart choice for Dan's first mid-tech run, because it's that premium steel that everyone wants, but it's small enough to keep the price point down. Get his name out there because he does make more expensive custom knives. I think that this knife handle feels amazing in the pocket. I mean, when you just have it in your pocket and you go in there and you grab it, and I gotta say, I've been testing it out. I've been keeping it in the pocket alone. I had my keys in the pocket with it. Sorry for dinging your leather sheath up a little bit, Cody, but I figured you would not care for the sake of Jimbo TV. You know, it's comfortable with both it alone. It's nice that it stands upright by itself all the time alone. And also, it's not too bulky that I can't have my keys in there also with it, is what I'm trying to say. So, and then in addition to all that, when you grab it, man, does it just feel great. It's got some really nice, thick, this one's G10, but obviously it comes in a ton of different handle materials. You know, it's funny, this is the first time I'm really giving it a fine look over, and it's slightly uneven on the tip here. You know, these two G10 slabs are just like not perfectly symmetrical, but you know, who gives a rat's ass? Because when you grab it, you don't feel that at all. It feels great in the hand. I love it. What I was going to say is, here's my other pocket sheath. My other one, even smaller. It's funny, this is a smaller knife, a smaller sheath, but a bit thicker on the blade stock. Here's the Adventurer one, which I've actually been carrying a lot recently. And you know, this is the 156 versus 125. So again, it's just a tiny bit thicker, but I kind of like how thick and meaty this is, and I wish I had a bit more time with this guy to really put it through its paces, but I do want to send it to my buddy Cody. And I gotta say thanks again to him for trading me that Hawthorne for this. He made some dreams come true on a black linen Fremont, which I'll be showing you soon on Jimbo TV. So please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you again soon. See ya!